Hi everyone, this is a Math OED2 video on 3.1 where we use the product, quotient, and power rule. So let's work through this problem. So we need to always remember order of operations. So when I look inside my parentheses at this expression and this expression, I'm asking myself, is there anything in those parentheses that I can simplify first? So looking at both expressions, I don't see any terms that can be combined or simplified in any way. So now I need to move on to exponents. As you can see here, this whole entire expression is being raised to the second power. So that means every single every single value in here needs to be raised to the second power. So let's go through and do that. Okay, 2 gets squared, becomes 2 squared. A to the 4th power also gets squared. B to the 2nd power also gets squared. And C to the 3rd power is also getting squared. Notice I haven't done any actual math, I just rewrote the expression. And depending on your level of comfort with this, I strongly recommend writing out these steps that way because it's so easy to make a simple arithmetic error, to add 2 and 2 and get 5, or to multiply instead of add, or add instead of multiply. Okay, let's keep going. Again, I strongly urge you to write out the entire equation every single time you do this so that you don't forget that the rest of the equation is there. Okay, so 3 is getting raised to the 3rd power. A to the 5th is getting raised to the 3rd power. B cubed is also getting raised to the 3rd power. I'm going to erase that, it's in my way. Okay, and C squared is getting raised to the 3rd power. So take a minute and think about what you would do next. What I would do next is I would actually evaluate or simplify these expressions. So 2 squared becomes 4. Okay, all of these others are examples of the power rule. So what do we need to do with all of these exponents here? We need to multiply them. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Moving on to the green part of the equation, 3 cubed is 27. If you don't believe me, you can check on a calculator. A to the 5th power, quantity cubed. You need to multiply 3 and 5, get 15. Same thing with B, we get B to the 9th. And we get C to the 6th power. Again, if you're not comfortable with using the power rule, which is what I just did, you can watch my video that explains what the power rule is. Okay, at this point, I like to rearrange the furniture. Okay, so if you recall, actually probably learned this back in elementary school, right, when you're memorizing your times tables, multiplication has this cool property called the commutative property, which means order doesn't matter. So it kind of halves your work when you're memorizing the times tables, right? Because you don't need to memorize 2 times 3 and 3 times 2 as a separate multiplication fact because they're the same answer. So that's kind of nice. So what I want to do is I want to sort all of these values, and I want to put the terms that can get combined next to each other. So I notice that I have a 4 over here and a 27 over here. So I'm going to rearrange them so that they're next to each other. Oh, look, it's so cute. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing with my A's because they have the same base, and I suspect that I will be able to use one of my exponent rules to combine them. Then I have, what do we have? We have B to the 4th power, and we have B to the 9th power. Okay, and what else? We have our C's. We have C to the 6th power. Oh, and we have another C to the 6th power. Okay, so having rearranged these, I can now start using other properties. So 4 times 27, that's not really an exponent property. That's just simple multiplication. I believe that's going to give you 108. You can double check my math there. All right, if we look at our pink equation, a to the 8th times a to the 15th. So let's think about what property that is. If you said the product property, then you are correct. So remember, the product property says that if I'm multiplying two terms with the same base, then I can add those exponents. That's what the product property does. So that should give us 8 plus 15, which is 23. Okay, same thing here. We're going to use the product property. 4 plus 9 is 13. Okay, same thing with C. We have a 6 and a 6. That gives us 12. So that's it. We have 108, A to the 23rd, B to the 13th, C to the 12th. And that is our final answer.